Hey guys, so I just saw Midsommar, and this is my initial reaction to Midsommar. What the fuck did I just watch? In a good way. Roger Ebert said this about this film, Santa Sangre. He said, this movie thrums with erotic and diabolical energy. And that's how I feel about Midsommar. It has a lot of erotic, diabolical energy. Especially, there's a sex scene in there that is erotic, but at the same time is very powerful and even painful to watch. Okay, and I just want to say the film is directed by Ari Aster, who did Hereditary. I'm not a big fan of Hereditary, but this one just blows that film out the water. And I think it's safe to say there's a new voice with Midsommar, and it's here to stay. Okay, and I kind of said this on Twitter before, but Midsommar kind of reminded me of like a Rainer Warner Fassbender film and an Ingmar Bergman film if it was directed by Kubrick, which is really interesting. Stylistically, there are a lot of shots in the film that are so appropriate and belong in that film and only in that film. There's a shot when they're entering the town, the camera sort of flips upside down and we in turn enter the town upside down, and it's quite an entrance, it's the entrance. All right. There's also a really cool action cut where a man's face is being beaten and smashed, and we cut to the protagonist's face. It's really it reminded me of Marty and Thomas Schoonmaker's editing style. But yeah, I highly recommend the film because I remember after I watched it, I was just sat there and was just very disturbed and unsettled and kind of frozen in my seat. Also, the movie is distributed by A24, who's killing the game right now with independent cinema. And just the film overall, it just holds you from the opening sequence. Something really tragic happens to the main character in the opening sequence, and it just holds you for the 2.5 hours. Also, the director said that he has an extra 30-minute footage that he would like to release or put together with the movie, which would be interesting to see. But I didn't really feel the length as much as I thought I was going to. Okay, and one last thing. I talked about it before, the sex scene. I'm not a big fan of sex scenes in cinema. I think they belong in pornos and not in the cinema. But the way that the sex is used here is a real purpose and a real meaning. The situation is kind of sick and twisted, but the man has no choice but to perform that sexual act, and like I said before, it's kind of painful to watch and disturbing, but a lot of nudity, which I'm not a big fan of, but there's a real purpose there. And again, it's just a really powerful statement, because I think that in that scene, in that situation, the man had to have sex with a virgin. That town's and that cult's a virgin, and I think deep down it really gets at the heart of every man wanting to be given a virgin, or wanting to take that virginity, So like I said, it's kind of sick and twisted, but it's also very erotic, and it's just really interesting. And also, I'm going to be doing a second video for my second viewing of Midsommar, and I'll break it down even further, right? So there you guys have it. Definitely give Midsommar a watch. It's probably the most interesting and the most captivating indie film this summer. Okay, peace.